Hi, everyone. My name is Jackie Granum. I'm the communications coordinator for the town of Lab City, and I'm here today with Kevin Roul, the director of programming and production for IronFest 2023. Welcome, Kevin.
Hey guys, hey, how are you today, Jackie?
So, we tried to do this live, did not work. Um, so we kind of have to do it this way. I don't know what happened that day, but it was just kind of like there's a setting off somewhere. We couldn't couldn't make it work. Um, so what I did was I put it out there. I asked people if they have any questions to kind of just write it in, and we'll do it here, and we'll broadcast this on our socials afterwards. So I do have a few here. Kevin, are we going to have a DJ for 2023?
You know what? Not this year. This year, with the programming and the way that we actually laid this event out, we're not going to be able to have a DJ. It would have been something nice to be able to do. However, it's just not something that's in the cards. A lot of production goes into this, and a lot of hours go into this. So, with the changeover times and set times that we'll have for this year, it's a lot of work for our crews, and it's a long day. So, unfortunately, this year there won't be a DJ.
Okay. And let's talk about the ticket sales. They go on sale tomorrow, the early bird. And how long is the early bird price in effect for?
Early bird pricing is in effect for I think it's roughly about a week with the early bird pricing and the early bird availability, and then after it goes to general sales.
Yeah, I think it shuts down on the 17th, or well, the 18th at 12 a.m. I think that's how it goes.
Yeah.
So, and what's the difference between the VIP and the general admission?
So the VIP and the general admission, as some people seen last year, the VIP has a separate access area in the curling club. The curling club was able to offer some separate things as well when it came in line to beverages of the adult kind, we'll say, and had a little more. A little bit of an upgrade, so to speak. It's something that we're going to continually develop as this event continues and goes on. Um, but basically, you have your own private area, separate to the side of the stage, your own bar. Um, you have the curling club for access for washrooms and the bar inside the curling club as well. Um, and kind of because this is also a rain or shine event, it's a good area for some of the VIPs to be able to go to duck away from the weather. So that's kind of the whole purpose of that.
Why is this event a 19 plus event? And we've had some people comment and say that, we wish that we could take our kids. Um, what is the reason behind that?
It's not an easy thing to do to put one of these events off, and with the amount of people that we're looking for in order to make it a 19 plus friend or 19, or all ages family kind of event. It's really geared towards making it a 19 plus event, just kind of the way that it's all laid out. So in future we may try to do something that'll incorporate all the families, but primarily our main event on Saturday nights will be 19 plus.
Yeah.
You got to kind of think of it this way: if you went to a festival anywhere else, and a lot of the festivals that we go to and that we work as well, a lot of them are 19 plus. They do have an area that isn't 19 plus, but we don't have the capacity to do that with the staffing capacities and stuff like that and the limits that we do hit. And producing shows in northern communities, we're looking at producing another show right now, and just with logistics of getting washroom facilities separate for stuff like that, fencing to separate those areas, and security prove to be major challenges. Not that Labrador is as remote as some of those other communities where we look at doing other events like this, but it's still the same thing. The logistics of trying to get all that kind of things put together in order to make that kind of an area is just not something that's feasible at this time. So we are considering, and as things grow, we may be able to do something. But at this point in time, right now, it's just not something that's feasible for us.
Yeah. I know, like, it's trying to find volunteers is always a struggle. So I imagine if you have that extra element in it, that's more resources you're going to need. And it's not something that, it's at our fingertips. We kind of have to really dig deep to try to find people sometimes. So yeah, I totally get it. I totally get it. And like you said, maybe that's something that we can look at down the road. Who knows? We talked about pulling something like this off in a remote area. So how hard is it to bring all that stuff in here and get it set up and tear it down? Like, what's that process look like?
That is a very long process. It takes a lot of work. I mean, every group artist that you look at booking, um, you also have to look at what goes behind it and what has to come with it. So it's not so easy as signing a piece of paper and paying some money for somebody to get on stage. It's every instrument that needs to be brought in because they can't fly with those instruments necessarily. The proper lighting rig for lighting presentation, which everybody's seen last year. Um, you might see that being a little bit bigger this year as well because of the bigger lineup. I can tell you the stage is even bigger this year. The stage has
Really?
gone up. The stage has gone up to a bigger stage. It'll be a 40 by 40 in the deck, and it'll be a little bit bigger. It'll be fairly noticeable, and we can't wait to bring that in as well. That just also helps with the logistics of it all. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of planning. It's a lot of phone calls and conversations and coming up with the right product. But at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we're delivering the right product to the people of Labrador City and the people that will come from away, hopefully, to come and see this event.
Well, this is what's cool because we're seeing online there too as well. People talking about buying their plane tickets. Can I stay with you when I get there? So people are actually thinking about traveling to get here for this, and that's kind of where we would love to be able to see. Like we always leave and go to concerts. We're flying to Montreal all the time for a concert. How cool would it be if people are coming here? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's kind of the goal. I love that the residents of Labrador City and Wildbush are so passionate about it, and thanks guys. Really appreciate all the kind comments and everybody saying like, hey, like what a great lineup. We really worked hard on that in order to make sure that we brought you the best product possible. But we really hope at the end of the day, so some people will have the opportunity to be able to travel in to come and see our show, and see what we're putting off. But again, at the end of the day, we want to show off the tourism and the people of Labrador West, and
Yeah.
that's what the whole goal of this is. So a lot of times when we're selling this to musicians and artists, we're selling them not just a festival and another festival and stage to come play. We're also selling them, hey, you're going to one of the most beautiful places on earth.
Yeah, because the bands last year they had rave reviews for IronFest and Labrador, so that was kind of cool to hear too.
They had nothing but great reviews to say, and they had nothing but great things to say about everybody overall and the experiences that they had. If it didn't come down that we didn't have the core group of individuals that have the passion to do this, we would never be able to get this off the ground, and we would have never got it running. So
Yeah.
we just got to keep it in mind. And some things that I'll say, and I said it to a couple of residents last year, they said, oh, you know what, we really wanted to go but we can't go, but we really want to support the event. The best thing I can tell you in order to keep it around for future years is to buy a ticket. That's really what helps us, because at the end of the day, it's going to be you know the artists that are going to talk and say, and the agencies that are going to talk and say, well, they sold X amount of tickets and they had X amount of people there. And, you know,
Yeah,
it's really what helps us grow, and it's really what's going to help us continue to be successful in this event.
yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. And another thing that was really cool that I noticed is that not everybody knows all of these bands. First of all, the diverse lineup is really cool because it's got something for everybody. Like I can go have a good time. My mother can probably go and have a good time. You know what I mean? It's really cool. So they got a bit of country in there and a little bit of rock and this and that. So that was kind of neat too. And people who don't know the bands are talking about, well, I got to go listen to this now. I got to go check them out on YouTube, watch their videos, hear their music. I got to get familiar because I want to go to this and be able to sing along. So we haven't had any comments, negative comments at all. It's all been glowing, and we are so excited for that.
Yeah, thanks. And that's awesome. It's really, really hard as a programmer for these events and to be a program director for these events to choose the right people. I can tell you I didn't sleep before we announced it, that's for sure. I think I even ended up staying at work a little bit later and just to kind of keep my mind off of it, in order to make sure that, you know, at the end of the day, I'm not doing this for myself. I do this for everybody else. So it takes a lot of time, a lot of input, and by all means, if you have ideas, I'm always open to ideas. I'll never dismiss your idea, but just because I don't choose who exactly you want to see on that stage doesn't mean that I didn't consider it. So, but yeah, Jackie, I'm absolutely ecstatic with the lineup for this year. It's like you said, it's super diverse. With Crush, we bring in a maritime aspect and be able to hit a different target market for those people that are, late 30s, early 40s, kind of vibe that, would have listened to them, when they were in university, or maybe went to see them when they were in university,
Oh,
kind
me,
of
me,
thing.
me, me, me. I was so
Yeah,
excited. I was like, I'm driving around listening to like King for a Day, and I just want to live, and I'm just like totally taken back. True
yeah,
nostalgia.
yeah, and like that's what's so cool about it, right? We really want you to connect the memories with the music as to kind of the way that it goes, and had a lot of people have memories that way. So it's just rekindling some of those memories, and now we have the opportunity to, you know, some of these young girls and young women and even older women that we're seeing in the industry now, that didn't really have that female influence in their lives to say, she did it, or this one's out there and they're doing it, or whatever else. So we're very, very happy that we're able to bring in a female influence this year as well, who's a very successful artist and musician. Jess is wonderful people. Her whole group and whole organization, from her management all the way down, are such great people. So we're very, very happy to have them. And then, of course, Doyle. It's funny. Somebody mentioned to me the other day from Labrador City. They didn't see me here on the streets of Montreal, and they congratulated me on the event. And they said, I didn't even know Doyle had his own solo project. He wasn't, I didn't know that he had something and had been recording albums. So he's like, thanks, because all of a sudden we're listening to him now in the car. And it's like, man, he's actually awesome. He's actually wicked on his own. He doesn't necessarily need Great Big Sea. Of course he's great with
No.
Great Big Sea, but at least he's great on his own too, and he's created some really great music. And the Gypsies, the band that back him up, I'm telling you now, probably one of my top tens that I've seen in the past, I'll say 3 to 4 years,
Mhm.
was the Doyle Show. We've seen him at Together Again in Edmonton. Um, Together Again in Edmonton had 5440, Blue Rodeo, Alan Doyle. The Trues were there one night. I think that was the night of 5440. And it was the first time that I actually seen Doyle live,
Yeah.
where I was able to enjoy and experience the concert as opposed to be working a concert for him. So, and I could tell you, I was just blown away
Oh
with
yeah.
every amount of talent that man has. So, and not that I ever doubted his talent. So, very excited for him to take the stage in Labrador City. And then, of course, the
And
Arkells.
he's got that voice, like you know who it is when you hear it.
Oh yeah,
You
you
know what
know
I
who he
mean?
is
Like
as soon
that's
as you
he's
hear
got
it.
that growly. I don't know. But anyways, you know it's going to be a good time because if anybody can get a crowd going, it's Alan Doyle.
The Arkells, man, I can tell you, I've seen them quite a few times over the past few years. I've had the opportunity to see them in many a capacity, and I can't take away from Courtney either. Courtney, my partner, business partner, and my fiance as well. Um, can't take it away from her because it was really one of her ideas to come across and say, hey, listen, if you want to put a rock artist in, I think you should really look at the Arkells, just because some of the other artists we were looking at weren't available. And it dawned on me that the people of Labrador City would love the Arkells, just the way they are, how wholesome they are, the music that they carry, the cover tunes that they play throughout their set, how successful they've been, and how humble they still are. And that was kind of one of the things that really drew us to looking at the Arkells, just to say, hey, you know what? These guys really fit the information and everything that we're looking for on this bill. Their music is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
They've played some of the largest events in North America and the world, and they're still so humble about it, and they still love to do all these events that they do. The music is fantastic. Their videos and social media is fantastic. I mean, look at Max. He hopped on a flight last weekend to go to the NHL All-Star game, snuck his way into being a judge. It's just the way that he is. He's just, and all those guys, they just carry themselves in such a mantra just to be such great people and fun people. We really think that that's going to bring a different element to our event this year.
Yeah, they look like they're seem like they're very down to earth. And I've been listening to them lately because it's not a band that I'm familiar with, but I'm listening to their music and I'm watching their videos, and it's a really cool vibe. I gotta say, I'm loving it.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? We really, really hope to bring that in and see that what everybody's going to love about them and see
Yeah.
what we see in them, and they have a horn and trumpet section and sax section too. So you'll really see a different experience when it comes to
So
all of that.
cool. I read somewhere that sometimes they like to do a little Motown.
Yeah, they might do some Motown. You never know. They might do some ABBA. They might even
Right?
go back and do some Tragically Hip because they toured with the Tragically Hip for such a long period of time as well. So
Okay.
it's one of those things. You never know what you're gonna get from those guys, and I can tell you that they're gonna put out a high energy show with
Oh
great
yeah.
music
Yeah.
and lots of songs to sing along to. And yeah, I encourage you again, like all the other artists, to get out there, listen to them online, look at some of the videos.
Yep. And you can also, I've been listening to them on Spotify. So easily accessible, and they're wonderful, and they're going to make an amazing headliner.
Absolutely, I'm really looking forward to it.
And tickets go on sale tomorrow. Early bird is you have to buy your ticket before February 18th, I believe. And we encourage everybody to buy your tickets early, get the discount price. Yeah. So thanks for sitting with me today and having a chat. And I'm sure we'll do this again before the concert. And it's going to be an amazing show. I have no
Yeah,
doubt.
look forward to it.
All right. Thanks,
All right,
Kevin. Bye.
thanks.